All right, folks, it's December 31st, 2017. I want to speak about this ladies' women's Royal Rumble. Well, that's a little redundant, but the first ever women's Royal Rumble for WWE. I don't know if any independent promotion ever has done a. I mean, there's been women's battle royals, throughout pro wrestling history, going back to at least the 1950s, I'm sure. But as far as a women's Royal Rumble, I don't know if any independent promotion has done a knockoff type of event like that, but here it is on the big stage, the WWE Network, and for those that still get pay-per-view, you can get this. So, what are my thoughts? First of all, hopefully they won't do any hoodwink or shenanigans. They've fired James Ellsworth, who basically ruined the women's Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Not his fault, but the writers at WWE. So it's good. I hope that Ronda Rousey does not win. Apparently she's on a movie set that day anyway, so that's a good excuse for her not to be there. She could do some type of videotape promo. They can make some reference to Ronda Rousey if she actually has signed a contract. Last time I heard, she was supposed to have signed a contract, but she didn't quite sign it yet. Maybe she signed it at this point. Who the fuck knows? I think it's a little disparaging if they have a Ronda Rousey, either Ronda herself or another woman who's not a full-time WWE wrestler win this thing. I think that's a bit of an insult to the Charlottes, to the Mickie James, to the Sasha Banks, Alexa Blisses of the WWE universe. Have an actual women's wrestler win the fucking women's Royal Rumble, especially the first one. Same thing with Money in the Bank. I mean, that was a big deal for me. I thought that was very insulting to have a man win a woman's match, especially the first one. Okay, so moving forth, Asuka, I'm sure that's the big popular vote. I think that might be a good way. I mean, they could just do that and make everybody happy, more or less, but wouldn't it be nice if they mix it up? I mean, what if they had Asuka and Charlotte kind of eliminate each other or beat each other up and both get tossed out of this thing? Double DQ on Asuka and Charlotte. I know DQs aren't supposed to happen in the Rumble, but they can do whatever the hell they want. Or they just cause each other to be eliminated, or they go over the top together, or whatever the fuck. Have a Charlotte Asuka match at WrestleMania this year, but it doesn't have to be a title match. How about that for creative booking? You can have your Charlotte Asuka, but for non-title purposes. That way, you still leave your SmackDown Women's Championship and your Raw Women's Championship open for everybody else. That being said, who would I like to see the Rumble? I'll go there. I would like to see, say, Mickie James. And why do I say that? She's a throwback. She looks great. I think she's a mom, which doesn't really matter one way or the other, except to say that she's got life experience. She has been, kind of feuding with Alexa Bliss on and off, always kind of losing. So it'd be nice if Mickie wins and maybe challenges the SmackDown champion, once again, that's Charlotte, though, as of this moment. So maybe Charlotte could lose somehow in the interim or whatever the fuck. But I would say that if Mickie James were to win the Rumble, it gives it a little bit of nostalgia. At the same time, she is present tense. She's been there for at least a year now, I guess, in this comeback. I'd like to see that. Could they scrape up someone, say a Gail Kim, and put her in? I don't think they would. I don't think Gail Kim gets along with WWE, but maybe they could do something like that for someone else. Awesome Kong, just thinking out loud, Velvet Sky, people that, have maybe left TNA, Impact Wrestling, whatever the fuck it's called, Anthem, maybe they just show up mysteriously at WWE. I'm not a big NXT guy, everybody knows that, but that really attractive, what do they call, the wonderful couple, or the impeccable couple, or whatever the fuck, the Peyton Royce and the Billy Kay or whatever the fuck. I would like to see them on the main roster. I think they are. They have a good act. They're very attractive. They have good chemistry together. They do remind me favorably of the beautiful people, Velvet Sky and Angelina Jolie. Angelina Love. It's very late. It's 3 in the morning. Not Angelina Jolie, for crying out loud. But I would like to see them kind of brought up for this thing. As far as the technical specs of this Women's Rumble, is it the big questions are right now, is it 30 women or is it 20? Could it be 25? I mean, they could do 18 if they want, as far as the number of women in it. I'd say, part of me would say I'd like to see it be 30 just to really start it off strong and be a strong Rumble. I have a feeling, though, if it is to be 30, they might be stretching. So I wouldn't, I think 25 would be a nice number. I think they could actually make that game day decision. If it's anything more, if it's 20 or more, it's fine. That's a good amount. 20 is fine. But if it's 25, I think that's fine. And if it's 30, you might be pushing it. And here's why. The big fucking, I don't want to swear too much, but what I wanted to say was the big fucking dick in the ass on this Women's Royal Rumble is, quite frankly, the technical aspects of women going over the top rope. And this is not sexism, it's just graphics, meaning logistics is what I'm talking about. Women athletes, even WWE women wrestlers, are shorter than the male athletes. I've been in a wrestling ring. I've been a ring announcer and I've wrestled 13 matches, and I can tell you, going over the top rope was not particularly easy for me. For these guys that are trained, it's easier because they know how to do it. They're trained professionals. They've been wrestling for years, the women as well. But I would say this, and I'm not trying to speak on behalf of anyone, just saying that it's going over the top rope. They make it look easy, but it's not easy, is my opinion. And you can look back at Rumbles past or any wrestling match, when someone's supposed to go over the top rope, a lot of times they go flying right over, but a lot of times they don't. A lot of times it's difficult, or the mechanics of it, or especially when you have, 20 or 30 or 10 people bouncing around the ring at once, shuffling up against the ropes, getting shoved around. It's difficult to go over the top rope so easily. That being said, I'm hoping, in the short few weeks that we have before the Rumble, that these women wrestlers of WWE get extra training in getting eliminated. It's basically the mechanics of what I'm getting at is something that I don't think people have talked about. The basic mechanics of the Women's Royal Rumble for 20 or 30 women or 29 or 19 women to get eliminated, to go over the top rope, you don't want it to be a clusterfuck every time. You don't want it to be a plodding, trying to get over the top rope. You want that to be as smooth as possible, to look aesthetically pleasing. And I'm just coming at it, from a fan's perspective. But like I said, I have been in a ring, and those ropes are pretty tall. I mean, they're a legitimate, I want to say 5.5 feet tall. So it's not as simple as people might think to just go over the top rope. So I think what I'm saying is, in case anyone sees this at WWE, and hopefully they thought about this, but maybe not. I mean, you look back at their women's Hell in the Cell a couple of years ago with Charlotte and Sasha, and they were trying to break a table apparently all night and couldn't break a table. So what I'm saying is they have to do extra training with the lady wrestlers, with the women wrestlers of WWE. This is not being patronizing. I'm just trying to point out, make sure that they know what they're, doing properly, work out the spots, so to speak, with going over the top rope. And like I said, it sounds condescending, but it's not supposed to be. I'm just saying that if we tune into this Rumble and suddenly these girls are having a hard time getting over the top rope, or the eliminations look botchy or slow or just not right, you heard it here first, fuckheads. You heard it from me. So, I'm not trying to insult anyone. It's just late. I'm just saying that is a thought. I said, man, are they going to take the time, common sense, to help the women really get these eliminations? And like I said, don't take this like I'm being patronizing or anything. But I'm just saying, we don't want a clustery, slow, first ever women's Rumble here, folks. So, that's my biggest thing. The other thing is, let's think about this. Those early Rumbles, if you look back at the history of them, like the 89, the 90, the 91, especially the 92 with Ric Flair, all those Rumbles really succeeded cosmetically and from a storyline perspective. They had stories. I think there was the Earthquake Hogan kind of square off. There was Warrior and Hogan squared off in one of those Rumbles. So now to say you're going to have 20 or 30 women in a Rumble, or whatever number it is, can they write some storylines? I mean, you might want to dust off Pat Patterson's brain and have him help write a storyline for this thing, because I think if you just kind of wait to the day of, which WWE sometimes they do, and just, oh, we'll throw it together at the last minute, banana. It's not going to be good. I mean, you have to put some time in thinking, like, okay, who do we want to promote in this thing? We've got, are they going to do 2 minutes between new wrestlers in the Rumble? Are they going to do 1 minute for the women? Either way, it's tough. Especially, like I said, if the ropes that are tricky for these ladies. A lot of these women are kind of short. Charlotte, I think, is 5'10" or a 5'11". But a lot of these women, like Alexa Bliss or whoever else, are shorter. So on and so forth, so on and so forth. Are you going to use this as an opportunity to really get Nia Jax over? Maybe you can make finally Nia a full-on babyface. She seems to be very baby-facing herself on social media, Nia Jax. I pointed that out to her. I said, Nia, are you looking for love here? Because Nia Jax is just doing a lot of what I call cuddle jumping on the internet, just showing a lot of touchy-feely things with her and her coworkers. I just had some oatmeal and peanut butter, so it's just in my throat. It's a little dry. What else? Basically, I don't think my pick of Mickie James is worth a shit. Mickie James will be one of the first ones eliminated. That's really who we should be asking. First one eliminated, who's the muscle girl that always loses now? That used to be Charlotte's, Arn, as Flair would call it. She'll be the first one, the bodybuilder girl with all the fundraising and all that. She'll be the first one out. Who's going to win this goddamn thing? I'll go with... I don't know what to say. I mean, Charlotte's a champion. Alexa, Asuka is just such a fucking obvious fucking pick. I hate to say it. I hate to go with Asuka because Asuka's such an obvious pick that Asuka would win the thing, and then instead of challenging Alexa Bliss, she challenges Charlotte, and then Ronda comes in on Raw or whatever the fuck, and then say the next night, fucking Asuka, you think she's going to challenge Alexa, but instead Asuka challenges Charlotte. Then Alexa goes into the ring on Raw and says, well, who am I going to wrestle? Obviously, no one wants to wrestle me. And then poof, Ronda Rousey comes out. Ronda challenges Alexa to fucking WrestleMania. And basically Ronda, snaps her arm in half and waves around Alexa Bliss's arm. So I want to go, god damn fuck. I don't really want to predict Asuka winning this thing, okay? But if you look at Nia Jax, and said that Nia, walked down the company for a night a couple of months ago, and there's really not much storyline. If they wanted to do the Nia versus fucking Alexa, they would have. They can't really have Charlotte or fucking Alexa win the Rumble. I don't think they could, but why? I guess I'm gonna say fucking. I just don't want to say Asuka because every asshole in the world is gonna say Asuka winning this fucking women's Rumble. So I'm trying to think of someone else I can say. I don't think they go with fucking Sasha because she just kicked the other lady in the back of the head. The fucking smart money really is on Asuka. And I just hate to be another fucking asshole making the claim that fucking Asuka's going to win this goddamn thing. And, my Mickie James pick is weak. Trish Stratus, Ivory. Some people are contemplating a return of someone. Would someone return to win this fucking thing? It just tortures me to think that Asuka... Becky Lynch is so vanilla. I don't really see a lot from anybody, besides who's already being promoted, which is Alexa Bliss and Charlotte. And you could say Natalya, who cares? You could say whoever the fuck. I just hate to say Asuka But at the same time, I just, racking my brain, for all these women in this goddamn thing, I don't see anyone who's really worthy of winning this thing. I mean, if Ronda's not going to win, which I hope she doesn't, even if she does show up, and Charlotte, and so on and so forth, and so on and so forth, it's a painful decision. But I think I just have to go with Asuka. I mean, I think I just have to go with Asuka fucking winning the Rumble. And I mean, it's just a very common pick. But I guess what I'll say is Asuka wins the Rumble and she challenges Charlotte. And then Ronda comes out and she challenges fucking Alexa. So that's your fucking women's Rumble pick. Once again, I am concerned. And look, it's like I said, it's not patronizing, but they haven't announced the rules yet. Or is it over the second rope? Is it through any rope combination? Is it hit the floor? What are they going to do with these ladies? What's their rules for elimination? And it's not a sexist thing. It's just going over the top rope is not really easy as it looks for anybody. Some of the taller girls can do it, and it's just a thing where I'm just saying I hope that the WWE listens to my words and just prepares and trains these girls. And if they have to lower the ropes in between the matches or something, I don't think that's sexist. I think it's just, helping the athletes have a better match, which they haven't done with Women's in the Bank, Women's Women in the fucking Bank, and Women's Hell in the Cell. So when I get all worked up about this thing and say, hey, make some adjustments or train your wrestlers specific for these top ropes, it's not me being sexist. It's me trying to protect the talent, which they don't protect themselves. So hopefully Stephanie McMahon will keep her slaps to herself. I hope Stephanie doesn't enter this thing or any nonsense like that. But if she does and she gets eliminated, that's fine. Stephanie could book herself to win because that's just WWE now. Because they don't trust the talent, they only trust themselves. And it seems like Vince is selling stock in his own company because he's lost interest in it. Mike Messier is predicting. Did I predict Asuka? Fuck, I'll predict Asuka. To win the Rumble and challenge Charlotte and fucking Alexa Bliss to fucking face Ronda, and therefore you have all of that, and then you can build up Ronda versus Asuka and Ronda versus Charlotte after the fact. Mike Messier.